A hidden war is already happening. Not against nations, and against time itself. What if aging could be rewritten like software? The elite are already funding the answer. Two worlds now exist side by side. One ages naturally, one does not. One ages naturally, one does not. This is no longer science fiction. The people using it are already running the world. The people using it are already running the world. Your telomeres reveal how fast you are aging. Your telomeres reveal how fast you are aging. Synthetic biology can rewrite that countdown. CRISPR changed everything in the world of biology. Genes can now be edited like text. This is not a hospital. The elite are already funding the answer. It is a biological upgrade facility. Biological age was not just slowed. The results were clear. It was completely reversed. Biological age was not just slowed, it was reversed. The real decisions happen in rooms without cameras. Longevity has become geopolitical power. Biology is no longer being studied. Biology is no longer being studied. It is being redesigned from scratch. The ocean may hold the secret to long life. The ocean may hold the secret to long life. Private expeditions are already extracting it. The best minds in biology are now privately funded. And the public may never see the real research. The founders are also the test subjects. They build the technology, then use it first. Young blood carries signals the aging body lost years ago. The wealthy are sourcing them at industrial scale. The wealthy are sourcing them at industrial scale. Human age reversal is already happening. The trials were private, and the participants were wealthy. Nature's pharmacy is being harvested in secret. Every discovery is patented immediately. Every discovery is patented immediately. The brain is becoming reprogrammable. And every genome is now treated like a priceless asset. "30 years of private data already exist. People are now biologically younger than they were a decade ago. People are now biologically younger than they were a decade ago. Synthetic biology now writes instructions directly into cells. Stay young has become programmable. Stay young has become programmable. Stay young has become programmable. A new biological aristocracy is forming. If biological age reversal exists, who gets access? And the gap may soon become permanent. Somewhere hidden from public view, a war is being fought. Not against armies, not against nations, fighting a war against time itself, hidden deep within these labs. And the wealthiest people on Earth are already winning. What if aging was not inevitable? In the desert, secrets are kept. What if your DNA could be reprogrammed, like software? The top 1% are not waiting for science to answer. They are funding the answer themselves. Time is their priority. Billions of dollars are flowing into a single mission, night and day. Rewrite the genetic code of human aging. Precision is key. Synthetic biology has given them the tools. Redesigning life, and time is the only currency that matters now. The scale is massive. Two worlds exist side by side. One ages naturally, one does not. One ages naturally, one does not. The choice is yours. The divide is not just wealth, it is biological destiny. It is biology, and it is widening, above the city. This is not science fiction, this is reality unfolding now. The technology exists, the money is there, processing life data, and the people using it are running the world, the new elite. Today it is $1 trillion industry, the gold rush of life. It is the extension of human life itself, classified secrets. For decades, aging was considered fixed, an ancient rule, a biological clock no one could stop, until they found the key. Then synthetic biology rewrote that assumption, a new timeline. And the elite were the first to know. The first step is measurement. Every molecule tells a story. Your blood holds the truth. Vials rotating in tight circles, liquid layering, separating time. Your telomeres reveal how fast you are aging. The code is clear. Telomeres are the biological countdown clock. Rebuilding them now. Every division shortens them. Every year costs something. Bioreactors hum. But synthetic biology has found a way to rebuild them. This is the routine. This is not theory. It is already happening. Biological reconstruction. Billions pour into a single question. The Valley of Life. Can we stop the biological clock? The founders say yes. Dozens of the world's richest investors say yes. High stakes. And they are not investing for others. They are stoics. They are investing for themselves. CRISPR changed everything. The molecular scalpel. For the first time, genes could be edited like text. Targeted. The aging gene could be found, targeted, and silenced. The Forge. The elite were the first patients. Protocol activated. This is not a hospital, this is a sanctuary. Exclusive sanctuary. It is a biological upgrade facility. Preparing for the future. Membership is not public, and the waiting list does not exist. And the waiting list does not exist. You have to be invited. Animal trials proved what was once thought impossible. Biological age reversal. Not slowed, reversed. Human trials quietly had already begun. Progress. Longevity is not a wellness trend for these people. It is geopolitics. Engineers build gene circuits that do not exist in nature. The future. They are aging humans racing against their own mortality. Personal race. The results are already in, confirmed. Proven by science. The trials were private, the participants were wealthy, secret meetings. Aging is, in many ways, a protein failure. Synthetic biology engineers, Your genome dictates the treatment. Your wealth dictates the access. Forever. Mitochondria are the power plants of every cell, the energy key. They decline with age, they drag the body into decline. Researching why? Synthetic biology is learning to replace them entirely. Molecular upgrade. The results are unlike anything in the history of medicine. Total success. For the ultra-wealthy, longevity is an asset class, strategic wealth. They allocate capital to extend their own biology, portfolio of life. The return on investment is not financial, it is biological survival. It is measured in decades of additional life, the ultimate ROI. Longevity is not only about the body, the brain ages too, the mind matters. The brain ages too, and accelerates everything else. Neurorejuvenation. Synthetic biology is now targeting neurological aging directly. Upward trend. The mind, like the body, is becoming reprogrammable. Testing limits. Every genome is a blueprint of people who intend to live forever, and blueprints can be improved. The world's most exclusive archive. The world's most exclusive archive holds the genetic maps, locked away, of people who intend to live to 150 and beyond. Dark purpose. The long-term data already exists, hidden beneath the surface. 30 years of private participants, documented results, the proof is here. People who are biologically younger than they were a decade ago. Secrets whispered. This is not speculation. It is a classified case study. The secret grid. Part 1 ends where it began, is in rooms most people never enter. Elite arrival. It is the conquest of time, and the story is only beginning. Forever. And the story is only beginning. The towers of time, final shot. And synthetic biology can edit that story. Every molecule tells a story. He who lives longest, rules longest, the real decisions. Synthetic biology is not natural biology sped up, redesigning. It is biology redesigned from scratch, the foundry of life. And some of those circuits target the aging process directly. Precision. Epigenetic reprogramming is not science fiction, resetting. It is biology's reset button. Yamanaka factors rewind. Yamanaka factors can rewind a cell's age, the molecular reset. The 1% are using them now. Tranquil power. The ocean holds biology we barely understand. Searching. Creatures that regenerate completely. Private expeditions extract secrets. And those secrets are being reverse engineered into treatment. Golden key. The secrets are being reverse engineered into human treatments. Mission. The most prestigious labs are now privately funded. Academic freedom. What they know, you are about to find out. Hidden research campus. Synthetic biology began as a laboratory experiment. The stage is set, and its most classified application is not drugs, precision engineering. It is the extension of human life itself. The classified files. The first step is measurement. Every molecule tells a story. Your telomeres reveal how fast you are aging. The forensic data. Telomeres are the biological countdown clock. DNA cap glow. Every year costs something, but synthetic biology has found a way. Dozens of the world's richest investors say yes, trillion-dollar industry, and they are not investing for others, they are investing for themselves. Expansion. CRISPR changed everything, editing the text of life. For the first time, genes could be edited like text, payloads delivered. The aging gene could be found, targeted, and silenced. The foundry. The elite were the first patients, system activated. This is not a hospital. It is a biological upgrade facility. Hidden sanctuary. It is a biological upgrade facility. Membership is not public. Clinical precision delivery. And the waiting list does not exist. You have to be invited. Optimized. Biological age could be reversed, not slowed. Reversed, team focus. Animal trials proved what was once impossible. 40% reversal confirmed. Human trials quietly had already begun. The win. Human trials do not always appear in public registries. Secret archive. Private funding means private rules. The committee meeting. The ultra-wealthy do not wait for FDA approval. Sign here. They fund the science and take it first. Entry protocol. The real decisions are made in rooms without cameras. The dinner. Synthetic biology is not natural biology sped up. Microfluidics. Engineers build gene circuits that do not exist in nature. Foundry. And some of those circuits target the aging process directly. Holographic mapping. Epigenetic reprogramming is not science fiction. The Zen Clinic. It is biology's reset button, sensors attached, resetting life. Yamanaka factors can rewind a cell's age. Molecular reset point. The 1% are using them. Now, walking through serenity. The ocean holds biology we barely understand. The floating lab. Creatures that regenerate completely. private expeditions, offshore science. And those secrets are being reverse engineered into human treatment. Golden extract. The secrets are being reverse engineered into human treatments, the isolated mission. The most prestigious labs are now privately funded, Harvard's elite annex. Longevity is not a single intervention, it is a system, biological panels. The supply chain exists, most people are not in it, secret courier. It is a precise, individualized, decade-long protocol, data-rich corridors. Mitochondria are the power plants of every cell, loop of code, energy restoration. They decline with age, they drag the body into decline, replacing power plants. Synthetic biology is learning to replace them entirely. The bioluminescent upgrade. The results are unlike anything in the history of medicine. 100% energy restored. For the ultra-wealthy, longevity is an asset class, the Zurich gold standard. They allocate capital to extend their own biology. Portfolio management. The return on investment is not financial. It is additional life. $40 million investment. It is measured in decades of additional life. Intense purpose. Mystery. ROI. The brain ages too and accelerates everything else. Single-cell neuromapping. Telomeres are the biological countdown clock. Every division shortens them. The science moved faster than anyone predicted. What took decades in conventional biology took months in synthetic. And the results crossing these screens tonight will not be published. They will be administered to people who paid to be first. The Yamanaka factors changed the question. Not how do we slow aging, but how do we reverse it? 4 genes, 4 molecular switches. Turned on, they sent aged cells back in time. Capital moves faster than peer review. Private wealth does not wait for consensus. When the data was strong enough, the money arrived instantly. And with it, the acceleration of everything. The epigenetic clock does not lie. It reads the chemical modifications on your DNA, and it tells your true biological age into within months. For those on the protocol, the clock is running backward. The supply chain is global and private. Compounds synthesized in one country, shipped to another, administered in a third. No single regulator sees the whole picture. And that is precisely the design. Synthetic biology does not only work in machines. Living organisms are the factories. Engineered plants, modified bacteria, programmed yeast, all producing compounds that nature never invented. The breakthroughs come without press releases. They come at 3 a.m. in a message to 3 people, and by morning the decision has been made. A human being will receive this compound today. This is not passive care. It is continuous active biological management. Every hour of every day the data flows, and the protocol adjusts automatically to keep the body young. mRNA is the body's internal messaging system. Synthetic biology has learned to write its own messages, sending instructions to cells, produce this protein, express this gene, stay young. The message is temporary. The effect is lasting. When scientists meet billionaires without press or cameras, the conversation moves at a different speed. No grant applications, no peer review delays, just what do you need and when can you start? CRISPR's first generation cut and pasted genes. Base editing is more precise, changing 1 letter at a time, like correcting a typo in the Book of Life. The Book of Aging is being rewritten, letter by letter. Iceland's isolated gene pool is a natural experiment. Longevity runs in families and in genes. When scientists identified the exact variants responsible, synthetic biology offered a way to give them to anyone. Hyperbaric oxygen was once for wound healing. Now it is a telomere regeneration protocol. 20% longer telomeres after 60 sessions. The body rejuvenating measurably at the molecular level. Biological age and chronological age are separating. The gap for those on the protocol is measured in decades, not in pills or potions, in engineered biology. This man is not cheating time. He is rewriting its rules. The most valuable substance in the world is not a mineral. Computer models on every screen, lab equipment running at full capacity. It is a biological compound that tells the body not to age. And the first milligrams of it are already spoken for. Genomic data is the most personal asset in existence. More private than financial records, more powerful than anything else. The wealthy store theirs in jurisdictions that answer to no court, and they use it to engineer their own survival. Before a compound reaches a human, it meets an organoid. A miniature version of every organ, grown from stem cells. These are the testing grounds, invisible to regulators, and the results they produce accelerate human application by years. Cells in microgravity age a decade in months. Cells in microgravity age a decade in months. The countermeasures developed to keep astronauts viable are being repurposed for a different mission, stopping time on Earth. The blue zones are not accidents of geography. And the immune system governs aging. The markers that allow humans to live to 100 in full health, synthetic biology is now packaging them for mass delivery to the few. This is not a doctor's office. It is a biological portfolio management firm, and the investment being managed is the client's lifespan. The returns are not measured in money. They are measured in years. The gut microbiome governs 70% of the immune system. Synthetic biologists are engineering entirely new gut ecosystems, rewiring the inflammatory axis that accelerates decline, Muscle loss is one of aging's most accelerating forces. Sarcopenia, the erosion of strength, leads to falls, fractures, and decline. A synthetic growth factor now prevents it, without the risks. And the elite are already receiving it, by invitation only. The ethical debate is not happening in these rooms. It is happening in universities, parliaments, and newspaper columns. Inside the dinner, the only question is, how soon? And the answer is always, sooner than you think. This is not purely a private sector story. Nation-states are pursuing longevity for their own leaders. The geopolitics of aging is classified above top secret. He who controls the science of life controls the future. International waters have always been a frontier. Now they are a clinical frontier, free from FDA, free from EMA, free from oversight. And the participants chose to be there, knowing exactly why. Exosomes are the body's biological postal service. They carry instructions from cell to cell, across organs, across systems. Engineer the right instructions and the body begins to heal itself. Not slowly, rapidly, as if it remembers being young. 8 hours of the right sleep is worth more than any pill. It is the body's primary repair cycle. And synthetic biology has learned to optimize every second of it. 8 hours of the right sleep is worth more than any pill. The immune system ages faster than we do. A failing immune system makes everything age faster around it. Engineered immune cells, programmed to hunt the cells causing aging, are the body's own army retrained for a new war. Hormones are the body's software updates. As they decline, the body runs older code. Precision hormone optimization reinstalls the settings of youth. But the elite don't just replace, they engineer an improvement. The aggregate data is extraordinary. 9.4 years of average biological age reversal. 3,400 participants, 12 years, confirmed. You will not find this paper in any public journal. One day, 12 hours, multiple biological systems addressed simultaneously. This is not wellness, it is biological engineering. And then you go back to your life, younger than you arrived. And then you go back to your life, younger than you arrived. Artificial intelligence now manages biological aging. It predicts where you will fail before you know it. And it designs the intervention before the failure begins. This is preventive medicine operating 20 years ahead of time. The aging brain accumulates biological debris. Proteins that should be cleared remain. Alzheimer's is not inevitable if you can afford not to have it. Alzheimer's is not inevitable if you can afford not to have it. Stress, in the right dose, activates the body's longevity pathways. Hormesis, the science of beneficial stress, triggers genetic survival programs. Combined with synthetic biology amplifiers, the results are unlike anything seen before. The body, pushed correctly, remembers how to be young. Part 2 has shown you the science. Not the theory, the practice, not the future, the present. In Part 3, the stakes become clear. The world will not look the same again. The end of the science, the beginning of the legacy. 2 timelines, 1 city, invisible to each other. One world ages at the pace nature designed. The other has redesigned nature, and the gap between them is becoming permanent. Governments are beginning to ask the right questions. Too late. The technology is not in development, it is in operation, and the people using it are in this room. Compound interest applies to biology too. More years of peak performance means more power accumulated. More power means more access. The committee debates what the elite have already decided. The language is careful, the reality is not. A new aristocracy is forming, not of birth, but of biology. And the palace walls are made of money. Two species are beginning to form, not through evolution, through economics. One ages, one does not. History has never seen anything like this until now. Power was always expected to pass to the next generation. That assumption is breaking down. When the patriarch does not biologically decline, the succession never comes. The advantage now begins at birth. The children of the ultra-wealthy are being biologically optimized from infancy. By the time they reach adulthood, the biological gap will be 2 generations deep, and it will be inherited. The return on longevity investment is personal for the investor. They are not just funding the industry. $11 years in 18 months. That is not incremental progress. That is the most significant medical result in human history. And the world does not know the person in that room. Patents protect science. They also protect profit and access. The most critical compounds will not reach the public for decades. "3,000 miles, one species, two completely different biological fates." Global health institutions are decades behind, not through negligence, through architecture. By the time regulation arrives, the advantage is generational. The leaders of the world are not all aging equally. Some are optimized, some are not. The corporate hierarchy is now biological as well as financial. Some employees receive equity. The top tier receives something more valuable, and it does not appear in any HR policy document. They are coordinating, not just individually pursuing longevity, but standardizing it across a class. "22 years of biological age difference. By 2045, if current trajectories hold, imagine a world where the wealthy are biologically your children's age while holding your parents' power." Regulation could change this. It has not. The lobbying power of longevity industry exceeds that of pharma, because the people writing the checks are the same people on the protocols. Philanthropy and self-interest are the same investment here. The donor funds the science. The donor receives the science first. Then, years later, the world receives the remainder. The protests are visible. The change they demand is not happening because protection changes priorities. Because the people who could be moved are already biologically protected. Longevity is becoming social infrastructure for the wealthy, not a clinic, a lifestyle, a membership. Some have not just bought access to the protocol, they have built private infrastructure to extend it endlessly. 8 scientists, 1 subject. History has never seen this level of self-directed biological investment. They do not eat food, they administer it. Every meal calculated to gene pathway precision. Macronutrients, phytocompounds, each serving a biological instruction. Eating is no longer social, it is pharmaceutical. The philosophers are right, but philosophy does not move at the speed of capital. The permanent biological upper class is not a future scenario. It is already under construction. The most valuable thing on Earth is being protected here, not a weapon, a biological protocol. And they are not willing to share it. Time is the only finite resource, and synthetic biology is making it negotiable for those who can pay. Biological optimization in the crisis room. Decision quality does not degrade when the body is optimized. The moment of reversal has been documented. The mechanism is known, the technology is operational. It belongs to whoever funded its creation. What the public is told and what is true are two different timelines. The real breakthrough happened quietly, years ago. Under the same roof, two different futures, one approved for the public, one reserved for the few. $3.2 years younger per year on a $4.8 million protocol. The math of longevity is not abstract. It is already arithmetic. At 70, they will function as a 38-year-old. Dubai understood the opportunity before most governments. A longevity zone, regulatory-free, capital-friendly, for those who qualify. The world's most advanced biological research, operating under its own rules. Same building, same city, below, the medicine of the 20th century, above, the biology of the 22nd. The floors between them are more than architecture. Geography is no longer a barrier. The protocol travels with the client. A private jet at 40,000 feet is now a treatment facility. When you can afford to stop aging, nothing slows you down. Look at the most powerful rooms in the world. Not all of them are aging at the same rate. Some have a different arrangement. The question is not whether this technology will change everything. It already has. Part 4, the answer, and the reckoning, arrives now. The question is, what happens when the world figures out what the 1% already know? Someone decided the world needed to know. 30 years of private longevity data leaked. 30 years of private longevity data leaked, submitted, confirmed. The secret that the top 1% had kept for 3 decades was about to arrive on every screen on the planet. The world learned simultaneously. Every language, every platform, every screen. Every platform, every screen. The thing that was always suspected, never confirmed, confirmed. 3 decades of proof, undeniable. The world did not respond uniformly. Some felt grief for the years they had lost not knowing. Some felt rage, like for the inequality they now understood. And some felt something older, hope, because the science exists. History does not wait for the right moment. The debate began before the world had processed the news. Longevity as a human right, no longer a hypothetical. Now a vote, now a decision, now everything. He spoke for 11 minutes. He confirmed everything. He said the science was real, the results were real, and access would need to change. He did not say when. He did not say how, but he could not say it was not happening. The markets understood before the governments did. Longevity was not an industry anymore. It was the industry, the one around which everything else would reorganize. Governments built their entire architecture on one assumption. People age, people retire, people die, pension funds, healthcare systems, social contracts, all of them built on a clock. That synthetic biology just stopped. Life insurance was built on mortality tables. Now those tables have 2 tracks, one for people who age, one for people who do not. One for people who age, one for people who do not. Some scientists chose this moment to change sides, not from the science. From the secrecy, the public mandate suddenly undeniable, created space for a different conversation. Some of the best minds in longevity walked through that door. The roadmap was ambitious. Some called it impossible, but the technology existed. The only thing that had ever stood between it and the public was will. The beginning of a different chapter in the story of human aging. 80 years lived, 42 years of biology, the gap, just science, doing what it was always capable of, reaching someone who could not have paid for it before. The technology had to be redesigned for the world, not the world of private jets and longevity compounds, but the world where $800 was still aspirational. That redesign took 3 years, and it changed everything again. Volume changes everything. Scale changes access. The science that took decades to develop in private was deployed globally in years once the will existed. Volume changes everything. Scale changes access. 5.2 years of biological age reversal, average. Biological age assessments, senolytic clearance, epigenetic optimization, all delivered at public health pricing. Served only the ultra-wealthy. The world had not become equal. The world they returned to slightly different from the one they left. Not every gatekeeper refused to open the gate. Some, when the reckoning came, half the board advocating for full public partnership, half opposing, chose the harder, more expensive, more meaningful path, a company pivoting from private to universal in a single resolution. The treaty was not perfect, no treaty ever is, but it was binding. Diplomats working through the night, drafting language. It was becoming a right. But it was binding, and it was signed. Longevity was no longer solely a privilege. The future showed up quietly, as it always does, not in a stadium, a world first, televised, a moment like the first vaccine, but bigger, where a woman said exactly the right thing, like the future just showed up, in a treatment room in a public hospital, where a woman said, 10 years of public access, 8 years of average biological age, advantage in the general population. The advantage, the elite, had jealously guarded for decades, now seeping into the world, changing it irreversibly. The next generation of physicians knows no other framework. For them, aging is not inevitable. It is a condition, with an evidence-based, scalable, increasingly affordable treatment. They will be the ones who bring it to everyone. 4.2 million participants. The data is now public. 7.3 years of average biological age reversal, confirmed in the general population. The results that started in a private compound in the Swiss Alps now belong to the world. The blue zones were never accidents, they were previews. Now the world is catching up. It's seniors running a community garden. Biological ages 20 years below. Evolution took millennia to give a few. Technology is giving What evolution took millennia to give a few communities, technology is giving the world in a generation. Reversal was the beginning. The next frontier is maintenance. Not slowing the clock, not reversing it, stopping it, be at a chosen age indefinitely. Working on something that would have been considered fantasy 10 years before. The questions humanity should have asked before the science arrived are being asked now, after. The questions humanity should have asked before the science arrived are being asked now, after. The tools arrive before the wisdom. The work of wisdom never ends. The weight of it visible on every face in the room. Society does not adapt slowly. It reorganizes around what it... Society does not adapt slowly. It reorganizes around what it cannot ignore. Renegotiated. Work, retirement, marriage, legacy, power, time. Debating the new social contract. The chamber filled with legislators. It began here, in a private compound where secrecy was the architecture. It began here, in a private compound where secrecy was the architecture. Now opening to let the world in. They displayed the full story for the first time, not the version controlled by press offices. The story belonged to everyone now, from the first private trial to the public clinics now running worldwide. The story belonged to everyone now, history turning quietly. 10 million people, their biology is different from what it would. 80 years lived, 42 years of biology. The gap between those numbers is everything biology has achieved, and everything it has changed about what it means to be human. Looking like their children's contemporary, not their parent, the world adjusted to this now. The sign on the door is simple, the medicine inside is not, but it is there for anyone. That sentence, for anyone, is the most important sentence in this story. For anyone is the most important sentence in this story. An ordinary-looking building carrying out an extraordinary mission that's available to anyone. This is what the science was always for. Not the compound, not the clinic. The clinic, not the private jet or the exclusive protocol. This moment, this park, this child looking up. Not with the eyes of someone watching an old person, but with the eyes of someone playing with an equal. This moment, this park, this child looking up. Every chapter of science ends with a new question. Every chapter of science ends with a new question. The question is no longer, can we stop aging? Sketching a biological circuit that goes beyond anything yet deployed. The next chapter of longevity science already underway. The story not ending, but beginning again. History is not always made by those who intend to share it. Sometimes discoveries begin in secrecy. Reading the original research, the first human longevity trials, the private protocols, and find their way to the world through the cracks. These children will live the result. Biological futures incomparably longer. 10 million people. Their biology is different from what it would have been. Their lives are longer. Their cells are younger. They did not ask for a revolution. The revolution arrived, and it found them. They did not ask for a revolution. The revolution arrived, and it found them. The war on time did not end. It expanded. What began as the private ambition of the wealthy became shared. A woman celebrating her 90th birthday looking 60. A child growing up in a world where grandparents do not decline. The whole story contained in its lights. The war on time ongoing, but now fought by everyone. The whole story contained in its lights. The war on time ongoing, but now fought by everyone. They gave 30 years to a discovery they were told to keep secret. Then they lived long enough to see it become the world's. The doors opened, and they stayed. From the first private trial to the public clinics now running worldwide, the story belonged to everyone now. He said the science was real, the results were real, and access would need to change. 5.2 years of biological age reversal, average, in a public clinic in Nairobi, have been. Their lives are longer, their cells are younger. They did not ask for a revolution. Closed. What comes next is written by everyone who is still here. What comes next is written by everyone who is still here. Part 4, The Reckoning.